let's go to Sunday night football. We got the Giants at the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are favored by forever, 14 to be exact. The total is 44.5, 8:20 p.m. Eastern, Sunday night football, NBC. Luck rankings, no real super edge, although Buffalo has been pretty unlucky. They're 27th. The Giants are middle of the pack at 13th. But who do you like in the captain's spot in this game?
I'm gonna have to go with my boy Gabe Davis here. He's managed to stay under the radar a bit this year, despite scoring a touchdown now in 4 straight games. I know everybody moved on from him after last year. We were drafting him in the wide receiver 25 range, but he finished wide receiver 27th. So shame on him, I guess. But like I admit, I came up with some excuses for him this offseason. He had a stretch. He was playing through a pretty serious ankle injury. I thought he was going to miss a handful of games, but he played through it. So his efficiency took a hit. Then Josh Allen injured his elbow, so he wasn't really throwing downfield. So good half the season was wiped out with Gabe and Josh Allen injuries, but both are healthy right now. They're firing all cylinders. He's the wide receiver 12 on this season. Now, this probably isn't the matchup where Josh Allen should be chucking it up to Gabe Davis as much, but they're just playing really well right now, so got to go with him. He's already had a handful of captain worthy games this year, and I think he's a nice pivot option if you don't go with Diggs in the captain slot. I think Gabe Davis is probably the next best bet.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's chucking it up every game, and they're coming off a loss,
True.
So that's a little. I think there will be a little bit more urgency, for this Buffalo Bill team this week. I gotta go with Stephon Diggs. He's just been immaculate this year, and he was mad at himself for running a bad route, one of the wrong routes on one of his plays late in the game, and it looked like people were like, oh, is he having another one of those blow ups? And Josh Allen came to his defense, so Diggs is going to want to come out hot yet again and shut everybody up. But the Giants are bottom 4 in DVOA against number 1 wide receivers. Diggs has 6 or more catches and 66 or more yards in every game, so he is Satan, I guess. And he's got 400 yard receiving games on the year out of 5 games played. So he's just been straight up balling out. And this Giant cornerback corpse, Adoree Jackson is okay, but generally they've been struggling all year. So I know it is a heavily favored Buffalo Bill team, but again, coming off a loss, I don't think they're gonna necessarily take the Giants lightly or just sit on the ball, especially early in the game. They'll still throw to get a lead, and I think Diggs can carve up the secondary. And he's going to get some man coverage too against this Giant defense that loves to blitz but doesn't really get home anyway. So like me some Stephon Diggs this week. Who you like for value? And I should mention Daniel Jones did not practice Wednesday. Does not look like he's going to play. He might be done for the season. It's kind of ominous right now. I mean, I saw an article or a tweet where somebody compared his comments with this neck injury because it's similar to the one he had a couple years ago, and kind of compared his comments, and they were the same. I think he missed 6 games that year, and I mean, the Giants' season's already kind of down a drain. So I would be surprised if he plays this week. I would be surprised if he plays for the next probably month or so at least. But yeah, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but it's just kind of reading the tea leaves. So looks like we're going to get a Tyrod Taylor revenge game. So I'll just preface, everything by mentioning that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Darren Waller here. I mean, he's dealing with a groin injury. He might not even suit up. So
he says he's going to play. He said,
okay.
So it looks like Waller probably is in. Saquon Barkley is practicing. He's not 100%, but most of the people close to the team think he is tentatively going to make his return. It looks like Daniel Jones is looking more, I would say, on the wrong side of questionable, and I think Andrew Thomas is as well, looking more doubtful than questionable.
Damn. Well, yeah, I think either way, Waller's rostership might be down, especially if there's a big red Q and the hospital sign there. So I think it's a good time to take him here because he finally flashed his massive upside last week with the 8-catch, 86-yard game. Who knows? Tyrod Taylor might like throw to him more. So it can't get much worse for the Giants this year. And the Bills are typically a tough matchup for tight ends, but they trade away Tremaine Edmonds signed with the Bears in the offseason.
Yeah.
And now Matt Milano is placed in the IR. So this matchup could be easier for tight ends going forward. And Waller is practically a wide receiver. So I like him here. And this should be, once again, another pass-heavy game script for the Giants. And Tyrod does use his legs, but probably not going to scramble quite as much as Daniel Jones, which could mean, an extra target or two for someone like Waller.
Yeah, and if Tyrod plays, I actually like Tyrod as a value.
Oh yeah,
a little bit cheaper than Daniel Jones, like you said. Should run a little more, and it just can't get any worse. So just getting like a different quarterback in there, a little less traumatized quarterback in there.
How are you? I just have to. How are you feeling as a Giants fan right now? I'm just checking in on you.
I mean, it's like the good thing about betting is that you're a fan of whoever you're betting on every week. But I kind of knew that like we overperformed our roster talent last year. It's just that the thing I am a little bit baffled about is I thought last year Brian Daboll, I mean, and he won Coach of the Year, so it wasn't just I thought, everyone thought he was just doing a great job. And this year I have not liked the game plans. I just feel like this team has come out unprepared week in, week out. So that's kind of my worry is just, what exactly is going on with the coaching staff this year. And Daniel Jones especially looks like he's regressed. I mean, when he got that tablet thrown on him, that was kind of, and then but it's at the same time, it's like, bro, you just got, I know we have an out after 2 years, and that's also not why I don't feel too bad. I think Shane has done a good job. Because we have a lot of people don't realize that, we gave Daniel Jones $160 million over 4 years, but we have an out after the second year. So if we tank this year, get a high pick, we could draft a quarterback and, be done with Jones after he could sit for a year or whatever, Jones could be the backup. So long term, I'm fine, but I don't know what's going on this year. It's kind of a dumpster fire, but like Tyrod, I think Darius Slayton is interesting. Buffalo's dead last against wide receiver ones in DVOA. Slayton has been the one Giant receiver continuing to earn consistent playing time. His routes run rate has been over 80% this season, where everyone else is kind of Kansas City chiefing it up, just, right around. We're just mixing in just anywhere from 20 to 50, 60%. And Buffalo also, the weakness in their zone defense tends to be on the right side. The offense is right. That's where Slayton tends to see the majority of his targets. So I think Slayton is a good play. And on the other side, the Bills defense. I mean, you can't forget about the Bills defense in this spot. Number one, coming off a loss, I think they'll be fired up, even though they have suffered some injuries. But the Giants allowing an NFL high 7.5 sacks per game, sack rate over 15%. So, Tyrod Taylor, most scrambling quarterbacks tend to take a lot of sacks anyway. So even if it is Tyrod Taylor, I think the offensive line still an issue. So I do think Tyrod will still get taken down, and he hasn't played in a while, so could also turn the ball over a few times. So love this Bills defense as well. Who do you like for dart throws?
So I think both Bills backup running backs are in play here, with the Bills just being such big favorites. But I'll go with Latavius Murray, just because he's seen the most rush attempts inside the 5. They've kind of rotated the backs around the goal line, but he's seen 4 attempts, so he seems like the better bet for a vulture touchdown. And he's also been eating into James Cook's passing down work more the past couple of weeks. Obviously, that's less valuable when they're favored by 2 touchdowns, but Murray could potentially have a couple receptions here, goal line score in this game, which would be more than enough to need him, in order to take down the GPPs for this slate. So I'm going to go with Latavius Murray here.
The Bills have been mixing in all 3 backs. I like Damon Harris as well. He did get the last drive of that big blowout against Miami, so that's a kind of a game script that we could follow here as well. And the Giants, in addition to being bad against the pass, they are 29th in run defense DVOA as well. So I mean, it's just been a mess on defense for the Giants. And on their side, I think Jalen Hyatt is an interesting play here. He did not get a target last week against the Dolphins, but he ran a season high 60% of the routes per dropback. So his playing time is trending up. here, especially if it's Tyrod. I'm sure they've spent time together, working on the second team. Yeah. His average after target is 20. So if they can ever get a max protect or something where they can take a shot, and at this point, I think you have to. I know McDermott does like to limit explosives, but at this, you have to do something here with your best players and get them the ball. And I think Hyatt is one of those guys. And Wan'Dale Robinson's been a little banged up as well this week. So, Hyatt would kind of be that top speed gadget type of guy in this matchup. So, like Hyatt as well.
Yeah, I mean, anytime there's a showdown slate with the Giants on it, you have to use Hyatt. And the fact that he only has 2 catches for 10 yards the past 3 games combined means his rostership will probably be too low here. So got to use him here.